Hello and welcome to the Artist Toolbox. I'm your host, Shannon MacKinnon. Have you ever been in love? Or maybe you experienced the shattering pain of heartbreak? Well, Joanne Marlowe's new book of poetry, Love in a Trash Can, might just be for you. So Joanne, we're here in your home on a very rainy day. So you have had a very extensive career as a writer, as a screenwriter, and you have a new book coming out, Love in a Trash Can.
Yep.
So why did you decide to call your book Love in a Trash Can?
It's called Love in a Trash Can because it's after a song by the Ravenettes called Love in a Trash Can.
Oh, okay.
So I thought it was kind of appropriate just because the book is based on men and love.
And your experiences?
Yes, over the last 2 years.
And how interesting that can be. I finished the book last night,
Okay.
and myself, I definitely related to it on many different levels.
Good.
What do you hope for people to get out of the poems?
Well, I think my work has a lot of humor in it, and then there's also a lot of darkness. So I hope people see both of that, because love is like that. Sometimes it's happy and sometimes it's ugly. So I hope people get a sense of that and can relate to some of them, obviously.
You made a very unique choice as a writer. You self-published. Now, in the writing community, we've talked about this before, there are some writers who may look down upon the self-publishing world. So why did you decide to self-publish?
Because I just wanted to do it. I waited a long time to write, so I've only been writing the last 5-6 years, and I'm older, so I didn't want to wait. I just wanted to do it myself, and you can't sit around and wait for somebody to make you famous or come and get you. It's a very hard industry. It's a tough industry in any art to get noticed, because there's a lot of people that are artists, and it's very competitive. So I just chose to do it myself,
And go from
and
there.
I learned the process of it along the way.
So what was the business side, the process like to actually get the book out?
Well, it's a whole, you have to get it, do the layout, and then I had friends contribute to the artwork, all three of my books actually. This one I had, my new one, Love in a Trash Can, I had collaborators this time around. So I had somebody write the foreword and the back cover for me, which I hadn't done before. And I let people read it ahead of time, which I've never done before, so it's a little bit different.
Do you feel more vulnerable with this book coming out because it is so personal?
I'm curious who's gonna read it and who's gonna think what's about them specifically, because this one is very personal. It's definitely dedicated to the men in my life the last couple years, so it'll be interesting.
Are you in contact with any of those men?
Oh yeah.
Okay, hey, so there you go, right?
Yeah.
I like it. So Joanne, this is the Artist Toolbox, and on the show I always like artists to give a piece of advice or an actual physical tool they use in their craft. So Joanne Marlowe, what's in your toolbox?
Wisdom. Don't wait. I think if you have, some people know when they're born what they are going to do in their life, and some people don't have the confidence and wait later in life like me. But don't wait until it's too late. Just do it. Just do it for yourself. Don't do it for anyone else. Just do it.
Now for you, what was the point that you knew, I need to do this?
I'm a mom, so I had my daughter, and she was probably around 2 or 3, and what else am I doing? I just thought I should just do it and show her I can do it, and I did it. So now I can at least leave her something.
So Joanne, what's next?
What's next? Well, this is a trilogy, so I think I'm going to move on to more screenwriting and focus on that, and maybe an actual novel. I'm going to challenge myself and do something a little bit different.
Well, that's very exciting. All right. Well, I loved love in a trash can, and I know other people will too.
Thank you.
So I'm very excited to see what's next. Joanne, thank you so much.
Thank you.
A big thank you to Joanne for allowing us into her home. If you want to purchase any of Joanne's books, go to the website www.etsy.com/shop/strangegirl666 or follow Joanne on Twitter at strangegirl_666.
Toolbox Resource File.
Let's see what's in our toolbox today. So today's tip is for all my friends who are actors or are aspiring actors and really want to get into that industry. There are 5 main websites that every actor should submit to, get on, and it'll really change your acting career. Number 1, actorsaccess.com. Number 2, castingworkbook.com. Number 3, mandy.com. Number 4, voices123.com. Number 5, castingcallpro.com. You can submit to all these websites. That'll get you auditions, that'll introduce you to the right people, that will eventually get you an agent. And once you have an agent, you can get into the room with a casting director that will get you a more legit acting job. It's all about networking in this industry. However, when you are looking for an agent, the best website to go to is actra.ca. For those who don't know, ACTRA stands for the Alliance of Canadian Cinema, Television, and Radio Artists, and is the union representing performers. You usually start out as a non-union performer, but eventually you're going to want to join ACTRA because they're the ones who have your back. My friends, that's all for Toolbox Resource File today, but guys, don't you dare go anywhere. There's lots more coming up on the Artist Toolbox.
Toolbox People.
The point of Toolbox People is to highlight organizations in Hamilton that use art as a healing tool. I caught up with registered psychotherapist and art therapist Trisha to learn about art therapy. Trisha, so what is art therapy?
So art therapy is an expressive form of psychotherapy. So it's still using counseling as the main focus, and then it's using the arts and the creative process as a way for people to express their feelings, their emotions, to deal with mental health issues, problems or concerns that they're having.
So in terms of the patients that you get in, do you have a certain age group that you work with?
Typically I work with kids and youth, and a lot of times it's to deal with anxiety or anger management. Some of the work that I do is trauma work, but a lot of times I also bring parents in and do parenting strategies and the coping skills that the kids learn in their sessions we talk about with parents together, so it's kind of a combination of people that I work with.
So for yourself as an art therapist, what would you find the most beneficial to the patients who come in?
I think that patients benefit by learning like coping skills in order to deal with their big emotions. So often when I explain what I do to kids, I say I'm a kid helper and I help kids deal with their big emotions and find new ways to kind of manage those emotions and feel a little bit better, things like that. So kids that come here usually love it because they get to play around with the arts, and it's a way to get them to talk about deeper feelings when it's kind of hard for little kids to talk. It's another way to
get it out.
visualize what's going on.
For sure.
And learn how to manage their big feelings and emotions.
Trisha, we're going to do some art therapy. So what are we doing?
So I want you to pick 3 colors out of here that reflect your mood today. So think about how you're feeling.
Good question. Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, and now what I want you to do is take your color and just spread it across the page. Just kind of squeeze it on there. It doesn't have to look like anything. Just get the color on the page.
There we go, all 3?
You don't have to be an artist.
Oh. And I'm like, it must look like
It's about the
something.
process. Perfect.
Ooh, I like that.
There you go. And now what we're going to do is fold this in half. And you can kind of spread
I'll spread it out.
a little bit.
Do you find there's a lot of people who have there's a stigma against people in art therapy?
A lot of people think you have to be an artist or to, be good at art in order to do art therapy, but that's not the case. It's more about the creative process and how therapeutic the art can be and how the art can be a tool to communicate and a way to visualize things that are going on inside your mind.
This is so pretty. Yeah, pick good colors.
So when you look at it, what do you see?
Happy, overall, happy.
Think about just whatever comes to your mind, what it looks like, and then we'll go to the feelings. What does it look like?
Looks like a butterfly. To me, to me it looks like a butterfly. If I'm gonna go deep on this, it's probably because I'm kind of in a period of my life doing some soul searching of what do I really want to do with my life.
Yeah.
That's what the blue could probably represent of where am I going? Anxiety with that,
So what is the blue feeling there?
The blue would be self-doubt maybe.
Okay.
This is getting deeper than I thought it would.
Because you said anxiety.
Yeah, that's because I'm hard on myself, and because I want more for myself. The pink would probably be, and then this is just you're doing okay, girl. You'll be all right.
So what feeling is the pink?
Pink would be optimism.
Optimism. And red?
Power. yeah, I think so. I think I'm pretty, I have some stuff in me, which, because I'm young, it hasn't quite come out yet, but just wait.
Great.
So this is cool, very nice. So Trisha, for those who want to do art at home, but they can't afford it because art therapy can range quite high, what would you recommend doing?
Any sort of things like this, where you paint with color and just reflect on what colors mean for you, and just find ways to use the creative process to just reflect on life. Colors especially are really good for that, just in kind of identifying emotions and feelings and things. So, and there's lots of great programs that you can go, classes you can take, or things like that. Some journaling, reflecting.
It's definitely, because it's funny when you look at it and then you start really thinking about it more, you can identify more with what you're feeling. So awesome. So Trisha, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
A huge thank you to Trisha and Family Connections for giving us a glimpse into art therapy. I definitely learned a lot about myself and had fun. To contact Trisha directly, you can email her at trisha.shinkle@gmail.com.
Toolbox things.
Are you an experienced sewer and want to take your skills to the next level? I caught up with Michelle at Hamilton Sewing to see what she recommends. we're here today at the Hamilton Sewing Club, and I'm talking to Michelle. And Michelle, so tell me about, we're talking about the long arm machine. Now, what's the full title of it?
This is the Handy Quilter Avante, and we do have the Pro Stitcher connected as well.
So why would someone want a Handy Quilter Avante?
Well, the Handy Quilter Avante, what it does is it actually finishes the quilt once you've sewn your top and we want to connect the backing to the batting. Okay, and you can move the machine around and create your design. We have rulers that we can use to create a design pattern, or we can use the Pro Stitcher and it will actually stitch a perfect design for us.
Gotcha. Now for yourself, for someone brand new, would this be an easy tool to pick up?
It's a very easy machine to pick up. It's just with some practice and education, we will teach you how to use it very quickly and easily.
Now there's two devices here. There is the long arm machine itself.
Yes.
And then we have up here, we have the Pro Stitcher. Do you need the Pro Stitcher, like this tablet, to work the whole machine?
No, you don't need the Pro Stitcher at all. This is just a tool to assist them do more perfect designs or start as more of a small business purpose if you wish.
I gotcha. So for someone starting out, would you just recommend just buy the long arm machine?
A lot of people like to just start with the long arm machine, and that way you get familiar with how it works, the mechanics, how it works, and the threads run, and your needles, and sewing through the fabrics and creating design patterns. You get a better understanding of the machine and creating a quilt pattern.
So Michelle, why don't you show me how this works?
Okay, so what I would do is I would just on my machine set the cruise of how fast I want the motor to be running. So with the machine, we're just going to start, and you can just move around wherever you want to go and fill your quilt that way. We can then even take some rulers, and with the ruler face on, you just gently follow the shape of the ruler, the edge of the ruler, and create my designs that way.
Very nice.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Now, do you find you have to have a steady hand?
Yes. a little bit, yes. The other option is if you don't want to do it freehand, we can go to the actual Pro Stitcher. And here it would be simply a case of selecting the design that you want to do. Okay. And then I can go into my area and I can just set the points that I want it to be at. So I'm outlining the box that I'm going to stitch the design in. Okay. And I can refresh that. So there's my design area. I can go in and I can tell it I want vertically 3 designs. I'm going to simply skew and align it, go to Pro Stitcher, and run.
Oh, that's neat.
And so it will take a stitch for me, move over, and I can hit resume, and it will now do the tie off. So my threads are locked. And just start stitching.
A big thank you to Michelle for showing us the long arm machine. To learn more about Michelle and Hamilton Sewing, go to their website at www.hamiltonsewing.com.
Toolbox tips.
Dreaming big. I've always, sort of set my sights on, these big, big dreams. And, I've been shooting for almost 20 years. And 20 years ago, I never thought I'd be able to, have these experiences. Preparing for the show tonight, I ended up going through all my old, magazines. And I've been in pretty much every major magazine. And 20 years ago, I would never thought I'd, be in all these different magazines. But yeah, dreaming big and just having a passion for, photography and doing what I want to do exactly.
The business of art.
Here on the Artist Toolbox, we're all about promoting and empowering creativity and the importance of artists. However, it is wise as artists to look at the business side of things and see through the eyes of the person hiring and buying your art. Welcome to The Business of Art. Today I sat down with Rick Zamperin, Assistant Program News and Sports Director at AM 900 CHML. He's here to give advice for those wanting to get into radio broadcasting.
I went to Fanshawe College, and as part of that two-year program, I interned at a couple of radio stations, one being Shea FM in Barrie, which was a great experience, and I just got to see how a real newsroom looked. You know, being at school, you're kind of jaded as to how everything works. You know, you have a newscast, you know, you can go out reporting, there's a writing element, there's that kind of newsroom togetherness, but going out into the real world, you soon realize that, yeah, all of that is in effect, but you also have all those intangibles of breaking news. Something happens in the community and people instantly know what to do. One person could be the newscaster, someone's out reporting live at that breaking news event. At the time, the internet wasn't there because, and that's how long ago I was in school, but there was certain expectations from the public to say, you know, this station, these guys, these women are going to be on this story. I think first and foremost, we're looking for probably, it depends on the role too, but we're probably looking for someone who can do a lot of things, and maybe not a lot of things exceptionally, but they can certainly handle a reporting assignment, they can anchor a newscast, they can go into the field and do some live reporting, they can maybe do some investigative reporting, they can network with some of the newsmakers in town to build those bridges, make those connections, and also be a great team player, have character, an awesome attitude, they get along in a team atmosphere, but basically have a passion for news and storytelling. Radio is all about telling stories and kind of making that emotional connection with our audience. When looking for a technical producer, we're looking for someone who can, really execute under fire. When, the poop hits the fan, they know what to do, and they have that kind of calmness to make sure the job is done because, people are calling in, or they have guests calling in, or they have an announcer that's, jawing at them to get things done. They have to be that air traffic controller, type of person. As a reporter or a news anchor, you need that calmness under fire too, but it's really tight deadlines. Every minute in a newscast or every minute in a shift really counts because you're being asked to do so many different things. CHML being a heritage station, we've been around for over 90 years now. I think we have a very experienced staff, so it's really tough to get in on the ground floor unless we're looking for that technical producer type of candidate, because that's really a foot in the door kind of position. But from a news standpoint, we're looking for people who do have some experience, people who have executed in those high pressure times, that are great storytellers, that obviously know our software and know how to execute that perfectly. They have a digital kind of presence, not only with social media, but know how to tell a story on digital because it is different for radio. Pre-1990, for sure, there was a lot more mom and pop kind of radio stations. You had those, a tremendous amount of independence. Now you really have the big, three kind of conglomerates, and Chorus Radio being one of them, that back in the old days, you could intern, you could have a family member working at the station, you can have a friend working at the station, and they would just say, yeah, come in and, hang around and maybe we'll get you to do some of that stuff. Now with the kind of corporate entities that we have, and there are a lot of positives that go with that, it's very hard to get in. So having that college diploma, going to university for some kind of journalism program, some kind of radio program is an absolute must nowadays. I would say do as much as you can anywhere. I mean, the secret really from day one is to just get in the door. So volunteer, intern, get on a road crew or a street team and see what radio is all about. Job shadow someone in the radio industry and just kind of be a sponge as to what goes on a day-to-day basis, because every day is different. It is very hard to get in. Even if you are in school, you can do internship programs. Just try and get a glimpse of what's happening at a radio station, and that might open some doors down the road. Well, number one is, with any business nowadays, is the financial aspect of it. You know, radio stations, radio companies are in the business of making money. Many of them have shareholders, so they have to answer to those shareholders. So the financial aspect of radio, I think, has probably been the biggest change over the last 20, 25 years. But the fact of the matter is we're still telling stories. We're still the conduit between the newsmaker and the public. We want to, expose those people who are doing wrong things in terms of crime stories. We're trying to heighten those who are doing great things, and many people say there's not enough good news out there, but there is. It's just a matter of finding those stories and telling those stories. It's really tough sometimes to convince the audience that, yeah, this is the truth, and they might have a different viewpoint, and that's fine, but, journalists look at, a story with objectivity. They have to look at both sides. They have to talk to both sides. So the biggest challenge is trying to convince people that, yeah, this is, a real story and it's not fake news, which has really taken fire, and unfortunately so in many cases.
Stay tuned, there's lots more coming up on the Artist Toolbox.
Shannon's story.
Hello and welcome to Shannon's Story. There is a cornucopia of art happening around Hamilton, but sometimes you simply may not know what's up. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I get a drum roll, please? Here's my top 5. Number 5, the Art Gallery of Hamilton. The Art Gallery of Hamilton on King Street West is Canada's 3rd largest public art gallery and features over 9,500 works of art. Free on the first Friday of every month from 4 to 8 p.m., it's definitely a fun, cool place to check out for an evening out. Go to www.artgalleryofhamilton.com to learn more. Number 4, the Staircase Theatre. I love this small and intimate theater on Dundurn, just because it is that, small and intimate. You can go see a variety of plays, drop in improv classes, or just go for the fun, cool atmosphere. You will leave feeling satisfied, promise. Follow them on Twitter at The Staircase for updates on shows. Number 3, Hamilton Ghost Walks. I went on 2 ghost walks last year and absolutely loved them. You get to learn some interesting and cool facts about the paranormal stuff that happen around the city. Go to www.ghostwalks.com for tickets. Number 2, the Players Guild. I love this theater on Queen Street South. The Players Guild is the oldest community theater in North America, and the performances are always top-notch. Go to www.playersguild.org for tickets. Number 1, Art Crawl. This fun and free festival that happens on James Street North is a cool way to get in touch with the art vibe of the city. It happens every second Friday of the month and usually starts around 7 p.m. To learn more, go to www.jamesstreetnorth.ca. I'm always looking for new art events happening around the city, and I'd always love to know what's up. Tweet me at the Art Toolbox and let me know what's going on. Thank you for tuning in to the Artist Toolbox. Stay creative, Hamilton.